So kind of name of the day today is all about you kind of planning, getting ready for back to school, knowing that obviously we're somehow in August already and we'll nearly be in September. So what we'll do is kind of take you through a bit of planning, some kind of proper actions, things to do so you know you're up and running. And then basically when it comes to September, everything's already planned, it's already done and ready. And therefore that means hopefully you can spend all your time actually focusing on giving some great trial lessons, getting people booked in, getting people signed up, and you're not actually stressing about all of that marketing stuff that you need to do. That's already been and done and sorted in August and ready to go. So it's just there at your fingertips. So yeah, so we'll go through a plan today, different action points.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about a couple of action points. So first off as well, obviously I'm Elliot in Victoria, if you haven't said already. So hello to everybody, so welcome. So as Victoria said, we're going to talk about things that we can plan and actually take action on as well. So we want to plan to make sure that we're all set and ready now, so you're prepared for when September hits. Action points we want to talk about today mainly are setting goals. It's very important to set the goals, of course. And then we want to talk about planning campaign timelines. So making sure that your campaigns are all ready to go and there's a specific timeline that you can then act upon those timelines for your campaigns. Also, we want to design offers and prepare our assets as well, which we're going to talk about, and also preparing your team. So they're the main action points that we're going to get from today that you can actually act upon and get everything sorted for you ready for September.
Yeah. Perfect. So let's jump straight in with the goal setting, I suppose. So it's really important to know actually what you're trying to achieve. Like, I think everybody just automatically has in their head, oh, September's a great time of year. I know that leads are going to increase. I know that sign-ups are going to increase. That's great. I'll just crack on. Whereas actually, if you take the time now to start out with what actually is your goal for that September, where are you hoping to be at the end of the month? And that might be, I want 25 new sign-ups. I want 10 new sign-ups. I want 100 new sign-ups, depending on the size of your club and what you're looking to do. It can be purely sign-up based. Or actually, is it you want to filter some other things in? So it's worth looking at your data. Like, actually, what tends to surprise people quite a bit is you can sometimes end up wrapped up in the fact that you're getting these new leads and you're getting people in for trials that your retention takes a little bit of a dip. So do you want to have a focus as well on keeping your retention up there? So making sure you're also focusing on your current students. You're not forgetting about the fact that they're there and they're kind of obviously the lifeblood of the school. So having retention in your goals can work really well. And also, is there a thing that you want to do around relapsed members? So people that have been in your club before, have joined, maybe they've dropped off, even if it's just over summer, because they've dropped off because of holidays, or maybe it was earlier in the year, over Christmas or over Easter. Are they people that now it's back to September, it's a new school year? When it comes to kids, September is more of a new year than January is. It's when everything in everything in their lives gets exciting. It all changes. We're going to a new schools, new school years, new groups, things like that. So actually, do you want to try and grab back some of those people that have been with you before? So they've already got knowledge of your school and you can actually get them back in. So really kind of important to make sure you've got those goals set and set yourself a target. So also then when you're in the midst of September and it's the 22nd of September and you're pulling your hair out because you've got so many people booked in for a trial, or you know you've got posts to post and do a leaflet drop and you've got this school assembly to go to, actually you know what you're aiming for. Am I halfway to where I want to be at the end of the month? Am I 99% of the way there? So actually I could have done a bigger goal, so let's reassess them. If you've actually got something to aim for, you're keeping yourself accountable and you're keeping kind of moving through that time.
I think really when you said about the re-engaging lapsed members, it's also, you know, in Britain we're very like reserved, aren't we? So it's like they might want to come back, but then they don't want to say that they want to come back. So you reaching out to them and being proactive on those people and saying, like, oh no, yeah, you used to come, but you can come back if you want to. Our door's always open. That's really nice for them to feel that they can come back, and that makes them feel a bit more comfortable and might then get them to over that line to come back.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's all about that idea of being specific on something, knowing what you're going, knowing what you're heading for, but also being quite realistic. I don't know if anybody wants to like pop in the chat, like, do you tend to set yourself goals throughout the year, goals for specific times, or do you just kind of wing it and go as you want and hope for the best, as it were?
And are those goals realistic that you set yourselves? Like, do you set a ridiculous goal and then you never make it? Or do you always think, okay, I'm going to make a smaller goal, and then I actually do get to that, and then you then make another one, and so forth, so forth. So yeah, say that in chat if you.
Yeah, let us know if you do anything with your goal setting that's worked well for you in the past as well. Like, it's all about finding what works for you too. Like, some people like to work week to week with goals. Some people like to work month to month. Some just like to set them at specific times of year. It's finding that way that's going to help you get there.
And what would you say is a good realistic goal?
I think it definitely depends on the size of your club, but I'd say you want to look back at what you've done, which actually Safra's just popped in and said, look at your data and your trends.
Perfect.
And push it. And it's that thing of seeing what your trends have been previously, seeing what you've done, and maybe adding a 10, 20% on top of that. Like, give yourself a push, give yourself something that's going to stretch you. Like, it's going to be unrealistic if you're a club of 60 members and you go, oh, by the end of September, I want to be at 250. Like, with the best will in the world, like, how many trials is that going to be per night? Like, that's going to be an absolute nightmare.
And you don't want to get burnout.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas actually, oh, I'm at 60 now. By the end of September, I'd like to be at 80. If I can get to 85, that would be incredible. So having just something that's realistic and knowing where you're going to be, and say, like you say, Saffron, that's a really good idea. So pushing that marketing prior to the quieter periods, and then saying that's a really good way of looking at it, because it means you've got an idea of what's to come. You know where you're going to go, and you know what you're planning on. So yeah, I suppose another really good important part about the idea of your goal setting is thinking about your audience when you're setting those goals. So I had a call with a Nest member the other day, and they were saying, I don't know what to do. Do I keep, they do both adults and kids, and they were like, I've got 3 different age groups for kids and I do adults. That's a lot of ads. I don't know how many to post. It feels really, really overwhelming because I've got all of these different audiences that I'm trying to reach, and I don't know what to do. And it's about, actually, we're coming into back to school time. That's September. If you haven't got the resources to target everything, then it's all about parents and kids at this time, and those school age children, and those ones that are moving up in classes, moving up in schools. So just keep that mindset there, that it is those parents and those kids, and just tailor everything that you do towards that. Like, there's other times of the year where adults will perform better. Like, we look at like a January, that's very much a mix between kids and adults. But September is a child's time.
It's being time specific.
Yeah.
We've got here, Andy said that new signups tend to match outgoing, taking a break students.
Yeah, and we find that quite often, especially through summer. There's that idea of, actually, if you take a dip over summer, like, I know we've talked in other webinars, so I won't go into too much detail, but about the idea of maintaining through summer. If you can maintain through summer, then your growth in September it's that jump. Whereas if you're seeing a dive, then that can, you've got a longer way to crawl back to where you were to then boost from September. So if you can make sure you know what you've lost over summer, you know where you are, and you can match up and you add that into your goals, then that can really help you from seeing where you are.
And as you say, it all goes back to, as Saffron says, knowing your data, knowing that is so important, because you want to have that line. If you're under the line and then you get back to it, then you're just back to where you were before, but you want to get over, don't you?
Yeah, definitely, if you want it to keep growing. So yeah, with that audience, it's all about the parents, the kids. So what are the parents worried about at this time of year? So it's all the confidence, routine, focus, getting them back into school well, all of that sort of side of it is really, really key. With the kids, it's about being able to show them something that is new and is exciting, and that they can try with friends, they can make new friends with, all that sort of thing. And I think it's just finding the balance, because obviously what you're first going to do is, with your advertising, that's predominantly going to target the parents. But then when we start to look into the trial aspect of it and getting that in there, it's making sure that you're planning those trials so that they're having the most impact, and that they're kind of showing the kids. So see, another question from Saffron. So do we think that incentivizing joining in September with deals devalues the service? I don't think it does. I think it depends how you run it. I think September is a very competitive time. You're not just competing against other martial arts schools, you're competing against like football, swimming, dance, theatre, any kind of activity that they can do. And including also, if you're not running classes in schools, you're running against the school after school clubs. as well. So they're also kind of your competitor. So I think an offer can be really good for attracting somebody's attention. I think it's about finding the right offer. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but it's the main thing of, yeah, you don't want to take your service that you normally charge £45 a month for with a £90 joining fee and going, oh, if you join in September, it's going to be 20 quid for the next year and no joining fee, because yes, that is devaluing you. You're becoming the cheap option. It's important to maintain your value, and being the cheapest isn't necessarily the best because people don't perceive the value in it. But an offer can be really good in a packed market to make you stand out, and it's what you add into that. And you can also make it so you maybe don't discount on your monthly fee. It's about what they get in a joining pack. Do they get a free uniform? Do they get some merchandise? Can they bring a friend for free for the first month? Things like that. So you're not having that hard bit of going upping somebody's cost, because I know that can be a barrier. Sometimes people will join and go, oh, I know I've got the first 3 months at X, but then when they come to the step, that can be a leaving point, whereas you don't get that. So yeah, now you can see you saying, so we'd normally do a 50% joining fees for September and no pro rata for the month. Not in school, so competing with the school clubs and all that. Yeah, that does make sense. So I think, yeah, something like that where you're discounting your joining fee. So you're making, what you're trying to do is make September accessible to you, basically. You're wanting to make it easy to join. So having it all focused around that joining pack and that fee and that what you're paying is good, because it's temporary. It also creates that scarcity.
It's showing that it's a limited offer as
Yeah.
well. So like, for example,
Yeah.
and it's all about communication, because they need to know that they're going to get this deal, amazing, but actually after this deal has ended, it's going to go back to normal price.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to shock people with someone go, well, I've been paying this all this time, and now you're saying it's double, because it would be if it's 50%, right? So you need to make sure that you're communicating that and being clear with your messaging.
Yeah. I can see Andy said as well, talking about those take a break students again, that due to focusing on school exams and things, and and I think that's quite common. I think there's also a thing where you can flip that on its head a little bit, and I've seen schools do it really, really well, where it's actually focusing on those exams and doing all of that is really stressful for kids. It's a lot of work. So actually, even potentially doing things like, say you're a school where people train 2-3 times a week, saying actually at the minute, if you just want to train once a week, that's fine. But actually see martial arts as your bit of time to switch off. It's your time to release, it's exercise, it's seeing your friends, it's some social time. And that can really help, putting that spin on it can really help that you don't see quite so much of the taking a break, because you're maybe lessening their commitment. If they've got high commitment, you can say to them, well, it's okay. You don't need to go from 3 a week to nothing. Just pop in once a week, once a fortnight, but actually realize how good it can be to have that break, because it is a lot for kids. It's
Eyes off screen.
Eyes off the screen, eyes away. To show I'm showing my age here when I was going to say like revision notes. I bet that's like all digitized.
It's all ChatGPT now, isn't it?
Yeah, taking you away from that, taking out of that idea and getting there. So it can be really important. So I think second, that's kind of everything about goals and your audience and things. So our second bit is about building that timeline. So making sure that you are setting out now. So we're early August. We've got a good kind of couple of weeks until we need to actually start doing anything and prepping for back to school. So using this time and the time up to September to know that you've got some stuff planned out. You know what you're doing. You know what you're going to do. You have your posts in the back end. You have your leaflets designed and printed. You've updated your website. You've done whatever you need to do to be ready, so that actually September doesn't feel that bad. Like, a lot of clubs will make the error of, oh, I start my back to school marketing on September the 1st. And I think we see that quite a lot.
Yeah, and this is the breeze part. We want to make sure that you can do that now, so then it is easier come September. And
it's that thing of, if you don't start your marketing until September the 1st, no end of parents have already made their choices. Like, I was walking around my local town the other day, and every single shop, somehow even Costa Coffee, don't really understand how that was a thing, had got back to school in the window. And it just suddenly made me think, like, that's it, where it comes earlier and earlier. We're now in August. Parents are in that switch on. Everybody's so busy. So actually, if you can start your marketing in the next couple of weeks, just at a trickle, just ramping it up. We've had that conversation lots of times. I know I mention it all the time, so apologies for everybody that's heard me say this a million times over, but you need multiple touch points for somebody to make a decision to come to you. So if you don't start until September, you've got to get those touch points in really, really quickly in order for them to maybe make that decision in the next couple of weeks. Whereas if you start earlier, you're showing them an ad, or you're putting a leaflet through their door, or whatever you're doing, whatever works in your area, you're hitting those touch points early. So then actually, when you get to September, you launch an offer or you launch your full back to school campaign, they've already seen you a number of times, and that's the thing that tips them over the edge rather than it being the first thing they see from you.
Part of that consistency thing, isn't it? And always being seen, and so people at the back of their mind, they know, oh yeah, it's the martial arts club down the road. I know.
Yeah. So I suppose a quick note down, maybe grab your pen and paper and or digital, given we're having that conversation, however you work better. What we would suggest is week 1, so start that mid-August. So you want that to be your teaser. So your post, organic social posts, make sure you're getting lots of those up about what's happening, what's been happening in the club over the kind of last few months, what they get involved in,
who you are,
that general, so that your organic social can be seen like a web page, basically, because if people are jumping on there to investigate what you're about and what you do, then they can obviously scroll down and they see that sort of posts.
We've also mentioned before as well, but like it's just having a little social media audit as well. So for example, if you've got a pinned post in your featured on your main page, but that was from 2020 talking about COVID rules, then that's going to make a big difference from someone going, oh, well, is this club still active? I don't know. So making sure that if you've got a pinned post, make sure that's relevant and up to date as well. So
just little bits like that. So week 1, making sure it's all building awareness, basically. So getting some teaser posts out there. If you're not running ads already, then start running some ads. So particularly for Meta, this is kind of very relevant. So there's a lot of the concept within like the health of your ad account. So if you've not run any ads for the last 6 months, you've not done anything since January, say, and you're wanting to run a campaign in September, if you hit a campaign that starts on September the 1st, Facebook is going to look at you and go, oh, you've come out of nowhere and you're suddenly putting a load of money in and you want to do something, and it's not going to treat you as favorably as somebody that's been seen to run consistently. Effectively, crudely, it's how much money you've been spending with them. If they see you as a regular contributor, they're more likely to take your ads, push them further, and you have that. So it's a really good idea to start running your ads quite early. Getting something, even if it's on a lower budget than what you would normally have, get something out there that's just getting your name out there, building that health of your ad account. You'll start to see what works. You can experiment with whether it's video or image that works and push through with that. And then things like posters, leaflets, all that kind of thing, just get it out. You're teasing effectively in that first week.
And you can get some good quality printable assets on leaflets, and they're quite relatively cheap. So doing a leaflet drop, and people nowadays, they don't get many things through the post. So actually still doing that traditional marketing is really valuable.
Yeah, that can really, really work. I can see Saffron said, do we do a workshop on running ads? So we've done webinars and things in the past. So check out the webinars that we've previously done. So they're either, if you're with Nest at the moment, they're in the marketing toolkit and they're on the page there. If not, then we've got our YouTube channel that's got everything on there, all the past webinars.
And there's a dedicated playlist for that as well.
Yeah.
Or you can give us a call.
Or just if you're with Nest, then we can kind of get you set up and do a one-to-one if you like. Or there's lots of stuff on the toolkit there as well. So plenty kind of resources for that. So, hopefully hear from you soon, Saffron. So that's week 1. Week 2, I would say this is when you want to start promoting the offer. So we're looking kind of end of August, coming into September now. Start promoting whatever the offer is that you've decided. Obviously, we chatted a bit about that before, so I won't go into that in loads of detail. But start promoting those so people know know what you're about, what they might expect, that they can have a trial class. Like, I think people often kind of forget that actually nobody knows anything about your business. So don't assume that people know that they can book in for a trial, or assume that they know where you are or what days of the week you're on. So you're building that information at this point. If you've got an email, you've got an email list, if you've got a prospect list already within your system, then make sure you're starting to send some emails out to that list. So start talking to them about it's going to be back to school soon. These are going to be the different options that we've got. This is what we can do. This is going to be our offer. Start that early so you can build that up. You can be sending kind of an email a week, knowing that that's there. If you're looking at ads and things, start retargeting. So running ads, retargeting on Facebook people that have come onto your website, retargeting through email. So if you had somebody that's come and they're kind of a bit of a cold lead, so they've maybe filled a form in on your website but they never booked a trial, or you had a phone call with them however long ago, trying to just re-engage those people that aren't completely new to you, that can really help to just kind of give them that nudge, because this might be the time of year that pushes them past that point of coming to join. And then also just kind of checking the ad performance of what you've already had out. So is one ad performing loads better than the other? So you might as well turn one side off. Yeah, change your creative. If nothing's really working, then start tweaking the copy on it, start tweaking what's there. So you're just building up, so you're more and more ready come September.
It's part of that learning phase, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just making sure that you know if it's working or not, and then it's that always comes back to data, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's that you don't want to be learning what type of ad works in the midpoint of September, because at that point, if it's not working, you're losing leads. Whereas if you can learn that in the couple of weeks beforehand, it's there, it's ready, it's sorted. I can see a couple of questions. So we've got one from Malcolm. Do you find Facebook ads are still beneficial? I found just being consistent with my social media posts and using local groups has worked better than ads. It definitely prepares. I can't speak today. I've lost it.
1 second and go.
It definitely depends on your area. Like, some people will find they put Facebook ads out and they are inundated with leads and it's great and they all turn up and they come to trials and it's perfect. In other areas, it just doesn't work. So are they still beneficial? Yes, I think they are still beneficial, but only if they're working for you. Don't push something that isn't working. If you're putting money behind them and it's not working, then don't keep putting good money after bad, as the saying goes. But I would also say make sure you're spending some time on educating yourself, so you know that those ads that you're putting out there, your targeting is right, that the ads kind of copy and the images and things like that, that is all right and is going to work for you. Because if you're not doing that well, it might be that there is potential there that's not there. But if you've got other avenues that are working really well for you, then don't ditch those just to move to Facebook ads.
It's both, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's keeping consistency, as you say, and if that works for you, Malcolm, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But obviously maybe try some adverts as well and just see if that helps, and then you never know, that could really boost your uptake as well, right? So
yeah, definitely. So Andy's a GDPR question. I love a GDPR question. Or there's always one that arrives. So yeah, we have a historic prospect list of those who never responded to the EDD sign-up procedure following a successful free trial. Should you reconnect? I'm going to say depends again. Sorry, it's going to clearly be my word of the webinar. Depends how long ago it is. It's the whole thing with GDPR is you need to have a reason to contact them, and it needs to be reasonable to contact them. If that's somebody that never responded to an EDD sign up after a successful trial from 3 years ago, I would say no, because chances are they potentially can't even remember who you are at this point. If they haven't opted out of marketing, you're in a really grey area, because you haven't, if you haven't contacted them. So if they've been on your list for 3 years and you've been sending them periodic emails and they've not opted out, then go for it, because they might just be wanting to see and it's not the right time. If you've not contacted them for ages, you're in a grey area if you suddenly just send them an email. But if it's somebody, 6 months is a good rule of thumb, basically. If you've had contact with them in the last 6 months, whether that's when that trial was, or that's the last time you sent them an email, or that's the last time you had a phone call with them, then you're in a good place and you're pretty safe from a GDPR perspective. But I wouldn't start rolling out a list from 3 or 4 years ago that you've not had any contact from, because you can count them effectively as a cold lead. So I would say from that perspective, it's about how do you find where they are. You're probably going to find them better through Facebook ad targeting and things like that. Hope that helps clear that one. GDPR is always it's like a wading through mud situation. Was it on week 2 or week 3?
You've just done week 2, so now it's on week 3 next. So make
right,
sure you
so we're actually getting to the back to school bit. So make week 3 about the time when back to school is happening in your area. So how, like, what week is that? That will vary. You will also, if you sit on the border of a county, it's important to realise that somebody will be going back to school on one side as the border and not the other, and things like that. So it's just kind of a key one to remember, is just make sure you're getting your timing right. But this is the time to start pushing hard, basically. So start ramping up with your ads, pushing your offering out there, telling people about free trials. Even if your offer is just that it's a free trial, that's fine. That's still your offer. Making sure everything you're putting out there is very benefits led. It's very aimed towards the parents and those kind of problems that they have that we were talking about earlier, about routine and confidence and discipline and things like that. Make sure that this is when you're really kind of pushing that messaging. Also, retarget any leads that you had before. So again, with emails, you can do retargeting ads on social media if you've got your kind of Facebook pixel and your website linked up. Make sure you're pushing that so that people are seeing your stuff as much as possible from as many angles as they can do. And then also make sure you're following up with anybody. So anybody that's shown interest but hasn't booked a trial, or has booked a trial, didn't turn up, turned up, didn't sign up, you've got this kind of 3 stages. Make sure you're revisiting those people during this time, because especially if it's people from the last couple of weeks that's over the summer and they booked a trial but they didn't come up, it's a great time to send them an email and say, oh, we know we saw you a few weeks ago, we hope you had an amazing time, understand you might have been busy over summer, but now that schools are back, did you know we've got X, Y and Z offer on there? That can be a really nice, it can just be the thing that kind of tips them from indecision to a sign up or coming through for another.
I mean, we know what it's like. The kids are on holiday, but we've still got to work. So the parents are still working. Then they've got to figure out what activities they're doing for the children throughout summer. Then there's the weekends are busy because you've got to do this, that, and the other. So having that like a message to say, oh, don't worry, we know summer's busy.
Yeah,
we're still here.
Yeah, exactly. That can really, really help. And then we move into the 4th week. So this is after they've gone back to school, and we can kind of, I say week 4, but week 4 can extend for a number of weeks afterwards throughout September, which is that point where you've got everything live at this point. So this is why we say getting prepped now, because you're in the middle of September where hopefully some of that stuff you've done before is pulling in leads. You've got people to follow up with, you've got trials to book in, you've got trials to deliver, you've got those to follow up on, so you're busy, but all your marketing is just rolling. It's still sitting there. You can do the follow-up emails, you can keep your email chain going, you can just be monitoring your social ads, just going in every couple of days, checking, make sure it's all right, that nothing's kind of changed, that, oh, this one's performing really, really well, I want to put an extra £10 a day behind my ads, or this one's not performing very well, I'll turn this one off. Just check all of that. And then once you're getting towards the end of the back to school period in your area, like it kind of dies down, right? We all start to get into that routine and we're 3 weeks back to school and it's like nobody ever had a holiday. And at that point is a good point to launch like a final limited time offer. So say, oh, we're ending our back to school offer. We're going to give you a bonus. So for this week only, we've got this offer. You can have an extra session for your first month, or we'll give you this, or we'll slash the joining fee by another £10, whatever that is. Just give them a proper time limited offer, because then you create that idea of scarcity, and hopefully means that somebody will then go, oh, actually I was always thinking of doing that, I'll better do it now while I've got the time, while I can get this better offer, because I know that's going to end. And then a really important one to remember is to retarget your trial no-shows. So I'm hearing it from a lot of people at the moment. So if this is happening to you, and give us a little message in the chat if it is, so that everybody knows they're not alone. But I know we're having a lot of people are seeing leads, great, sign up, great, turning up to trials, nosedives. People just aren't turning up. I don't know psychologically what's happening with the world at the minute, but I was in a restaurant the other night and I ended up chatting to the waiter and he was moaning and saying that the number of table bookings they get and people don't turn up is unreal. So it's not just us, it's not just martial arts, but that thing of booking a trial and not turning up is irritating because you've prepped for it, you've that's held a place in your class. It could have been somebody else. But make sure you're following up on them because unfortunately, yes, there probably are the people that book it and then just booked it, maybe not, who knows, whatever. But actually, there'll be the people that life just got busy, the child got sick, they had to stay at work late, whatever happened. So going back to them with a retarget, asking them, do you want to rebook? Is it there? Can really, really help to kind of pull that through.
And the question was paid trials or free trial?
Difficult one. I personally, I'm gonna put my foot in the sand and say I think a free trial is a really good thing because it's less commitment from people, so they can come and they can just
More
turn up.
accessible.
More accessible. I think a free trial where people know your prices can work well because then you don't have the problem of just anybody turning up and then you've given a free trial and then they go, oh, that's way too expensive for me, I can't cope with that.
Transparency.
Transparency can help, but I very much see the value of paid trials. I understand, especially if you are in an area where a lot of people will take a freebie and then just run. A paid trial gets a bit of skin in the game. Somebody's invested something that can really work. It's definitely, if you are seeing a massive issue with drop off and people not turning up, trying a paid trial can sometimes change that. But I think if you have a paid trial, it's important to remember that potentially you might see your quantity drop, but that's not a bad thing if your quality maintains or increases. Because if you previously were getting 10 people booking for trials and only 5 people were turning up and only 2 were signing up, then you introduce a paid trial and actually you only get 6 people booking, but 5 of them turn up and 4 of them sign up. You've got 4 sign-ups, not 2 sign-ups, and you've given 6 trials, not 10. So you're winning from both sides.
Oh, interesting here. Martin, hi Martin. He said a paid trial and full refund upon turn up.
Oh, you've literally just taken the words out of my mouth, Martin. That's what I was going to say, was that it's a way of having a middle ground, is that you do the paid trial and then that's taken off their first month's
and there's
all the joining fee.
Really interesting thing as well about how, for example, if you have a vending machine, right? If you have one vending machine like a Coca-Cola vending machine, the question is, do I want to drink or do I not want to drink? But if you have a Coca-Cola machine and a Pepsi machine, is it Coca-Cola or Pepsi? So you're then saying, well, I'm going to have a drink, but which one am I going to have? So you could technically have a free trial and a paid trial offer. So that it try and test it out.
It could be you get more with a paid trial. I've seen clubs run where they do a paid trial and it's £10 for a paid trial, and for that you get a half an hour one-to-one session before the lesson, and then you join the lesson. So the lesson's free, but you're paying for the thing. Or if you just want a free trial, you just come to the lesson. So you can balance it and change.
And if you're going to do like a free trial and a paid trial that then they get the money back anyway, you might as well try it.
Test and learn, see what works. Don't be afraid to try something. I think there's often a thing of, oh well, I've tried to do this, it didn't work, I can't do it again. People don't remember. They don't remember what you did 2 weeks ago, let alone like 6 months, a year, 3 years. So we've got another message, so saying we send an email the following day if they haven't shown up, but then tend to leave it. If we've emailed twice and then heard nothing, but then we do a mass email to deal with all the prospects twice a year, so they normally get contacted through this. But very little take up from these though. Any advice? I would say don't email, call and see how that changes things. I know it's more effort, but it's that getting that personal contact. And I always liken it to like a doctor's or a dentist appointment, right? You know you've got to go. And we've all done it. We've suddenly looked at our watch and gone, I was meant to be in that waiting room 20 minutes ago. Oh no, right, okay, that's a problem. But because it's the dentist or the doctors, you've got to ring back and go, I'm really sorry, I missed it. Can I please rebook? This is optional, right? A trial is optional. We haven't got to go to that. We don't need the martial arts trial lesson like we needed the dentist appointment or the doctor's appointment. So that fear of ringing will put people off. Whereas if you give them a call and just, you suddenly become human. You're not an email, you're not a brand, you are you on the end of a phone having a chat going, oh, we know you were meant to come the other night. We're really sorry that we didn't see you. Honestly though, don't worry about it. It's fine. You can even like make it up and be like, oh, somebody else took your spot. It was perfectly fine. Don't worry. Like there was no worry about it. Do you want to come again next week? That can just suddenly they go, oh, they don't mind. Because when you send it in an email, even no matter how nicely you word your email, if you then make it a fully automated process with no personal touch in there, if you think of it from the other side of it, there's that, oh God, I forgot. Oh, I've got an email. That's handy. I can rebook. Oh, there's a button. Right, I'm going to rebook. I'm booked in for the next time. Oh, I've got a confirmation text. I've got my reminder. I've still got to turn up next week to face the human that I accidentally broke my appointment with the week before, and that can still feel daunting. Whereas if they've spoken to that human or one of the humans from that club, you've broken the air, it's gone, it doesn't matter that they missed it, and they're just turning up again next week. So if you do find that it doesn't work too well with an email, try doing some calls, having that kind of friendly, approachable side, and see if that has an impact.
And also the amount of emails, I mean, you must get it as well. Like, how many emails do you get every day?
Yeah.
So sometimes being the one email that you think, oh, which we all do it, we all work really hard on these emails, send them out, and they might just get lost in the emails, and then 24 hours later they've got 100 new emails,
And they forgot about it.
and it's just pushed down the list.
So even a call, and if they don't answer, voicemail, drop them. If you've got contact details, drop them a text, drop them a WhatsApp. Just something that becomes more personal can be the kind of flicking point on that re-engagement thing. And actually, it feels like a lot of work because it's a phone call, but they were already warm enough that they've seen your marketing beforehand. They know enough about you that they were going to come, and some things stop that. Don't get me wrong, there will always be the people that just had potentially no intention of turning up and didn't really want the trial. You'll always have those, but there will be the ones where life happened, and putting that personal touch in can make an impact.
So shall we just go through just really quickly for everyone's note taking? So for week 1 was mid-August, and they need to build awareness. That's the most important, right?
Yeah.
Week 2 is to promote your offer and your trial classes, and then email campaigns to your prospect list. Week 3 is the back to school week. So make sure that your details of your offer and your retargeting leads, and then you're following up. And then week 4 is the continue to follow up with leads. That's right. And then week 4 plus.
Week 4 continued.
And then we've got a quick note here as well that you've put, which is very important. Do you want to mention that?
Oh yeah,
Victoria?
Get it in the calendar. So get these things that you need to do, put them in your calendar, or if you've got people that help you with the running of the club or your instructors, get it in their calendar as these things to do, because then when you are in that busy period, it's just a case of, oh, what do I need to do today? Oh, I need to do that post. Oh, I need to send that email. Or get it automated, get it scheduled, like Facebook posts, Facebook ads. If you use my mailing list, then sending your emails out of date, you can, like, things can be scheduled, automations, all things like that. You've got those options. Just get it prepped and ready. I say the whole point of this webinar is let's do some work now so that we can make September nice and easy and it's not stressful. So yeah, I think this is oh, I thought it was you. It's not you. Me for a bit longer. Elliot's got a demo for us in a minute, but I'll do a bit of context around that. So yeah, looking at what your offer and your messaging is, which is, say we spoke quite a bit about it earlier, but I'll just kind of do a quick recap. It's about having the copy that is relevant to this time of year, having the imagery that's relevant for this time of year. So everything focused around kids, everything focused around parents, the worries that they've got, making it very, very benefits led. So things like, it's a great time of year because you can do direct messages of things like saying to parents, are you worried that your kid's not going to settle into their new school? Are you concerned about bullying? Do you think your kids need a bit more confidence? They need a bit more of a boost. Martial arts can help. We can help. This is how we can do that. And this is a great time of year where you can do that. You can then have those benefits, wrap that up with a nice offer, like we talked about earlier, whether that's adding into your membership packs, reducing your joining fee, whatever that is that works well, that you like to do and want to do, wrapping that up with those benefits makes a really, really nice package that's nice and easy to promote and good to put in there. So just remembering who it's for, what the offer is, so what they're going to get, and also why should it be now? Like, why should they do it in September? So things around, if they start now, by the time they get to January, they'll already be so far in. Start them at the beginning of the school year, so that by the time we're getting to the end of the school year, you won't believe the difference you'll see in them. All of that sort of thing, creating that bit of urgency and that sense of, I want to do it now.
And we've also got, for those that can't think of a theme, we've got a theme that they could do, right? So
Yeah.
should we say that the theme that we've come up with is help your child set into the new school year with focus, confidence, and structure.
Yeah.
So something like that, you could just use that as your example. And, you know, that's something really quite simple, but is so important in a child's life or a young adult's life. And having that in school is something that you can really focus in on. Focus being part of the main thing as well. But I think it's good.
Yeah, and I think it's that thing of where martial arts really stands out from a lot of other activities. Like, I think now is a perfect time of year where we all know football, tennis, cricket, whatever we're looking at, other sports, we know they're great for fitness and making friends and confidence and things to a certain extent, but there is no child's activity like martial arts for the level of confidence building that it offers, the self-discipline that it brings, all of those things. And that's some things that I think parents don't always think about when they think of martial arts. I think they sometimes will just see it as another sport, as it's just another option. And do they want to do football or do they want to do martial arts? Whereas if you can bring to their attention that actually, if they do martial arts, they're going to get all of those benefits they get from another sport. They're going to get the fitness, they're going to make the friends, they're going to be off their screens and doing something social. But actually, the thing on top of that they're going to get is that massive acceleration in their confidence and their discipline and their ability to focus and their ability to maintain something.
And they get that goal setting themselves, isn't it? You know, if I do well now, I will be able to get my belt and my next grading and that motivation to do so. And that's really quite rewarding. And I mean, I practice kickboxing. One of my fellow students, he's brand new and he's about 14, 15. And he was so excited. And he said to me, he's like, Elliot, you don't understand how exciting it is to get my first belt. I was like, no, I do know, because it is so exciting that when you get that first belt, you're like, wow, this is what I've achieved. This is now mine. What can I do next? This is my first step to be a black belt, and that's quite exciting. That the motivation.
And I think that's martial arts has got that like no other sport. So I think definitely play on that at this time of year, because it is the way that you stand out from the competition, and that sort of those skills relate so well to school that it's very easy to build that connection and show that. So now I'll hand over to Elliot. Now we've done that bit, and basically what we're going to go through now is showing you some of our campaign materials. So some of the bits that if you are a Nest member, then you can get these on our marketing toolkit. They've also been emailed out to you and things like that. They're generally quite easy to find. But what we're going to do is show you the importance of having video in there. So our latest campaign is a full video template. And then what we're also going to show you is how to take one of our previous campaigns and add video to that as well. So
yes, so let me just share our screen, and I can press it by doing this, and we want this screen, don't we? That's great. Okay, so hopefully now you can all see our screen, and then can you just give me a little yes, you can see the screen, or a thumbs up emoji? It should be saying level 1 in real life. All good? Yeah, perfect. Okay, so right here, this is our Canva template. So you can get these Canva templates from the marketing toolkit. So from there, this is our latest campaign. It's our level up campaign. So we really like this back to school theme of leveling up and your ability to do so through martial arts. Now we've got here, this is just the first page on a multi-page design. And it's got a really nice video. And as we know, video content is really important right now. And having some really good footage that you can have from your schools and taking that time to get that footage is really important, isn't it?
Yeah, especially when we're looking at things like social media and we always everybody talks about the algorithm, but the algorithm loves video. So whether that's an organic post or a paid ad post, video is tending to perform better than image. Doesn't mean to say don't use images. Images can also work well, but I think it's important to test and trial and go between the two, because also video is just a window into what you do as well. It's a lot easier to show.
And martial arts is so visual as well. So
Yeah.
we've got this already pre-made, which you can use these videos within this template already. But if you have your own footage, that is perfect. And we've got a video that we've got here already. So what we'll do is, this is a video that we've made, and obviously it's a different size. So really simple with Canva, as you would do with any other piece of content. You get your video, you make it bigger, and we're just gonna do a quick test. So this is just an example. And then if you go to the top right here, it says position, and then you can see layers. These are all the layers that we have. We're going to put this to the correct spot, and now our video is in the correct place for this part of the design. You can also trim the content. So this first page, the video is 11 seconds long, but we're actually going to make it so it's really short. So we're going to say, we can put here and change this to 3 seconds. Let me just delete this here. Your keyboard is different to my keyboard. I'm a Mac person.
Just causing confusion.
So now it's 3 seconds long. So that means that we've trimmed it to 3 seconds. So now already we've got just 3 seconds of our video here. And then, for example, you could do the same thing by getting your video, and then you can copy it and then go to your next part, and then you can then paste it into the next section, and then you can then use this to really cut and trim to however you want it to be. So really simple. So we could continue the video on the next page. So we need to then move it to the same position as we had before. And then nice and easy, you've now got your previous button here, and then it'll preview from the beginning. This is now our new footage right here, from beginning to the first page and second page. So really simple. And that is as easy as it is for our designs. Now the campaign Canva templates are so easy to do and really easy to edit, just like that. As you've seen, a couple of minutes, and we've already got a post that was through a video. Now with this, excuse me, we've got a couple of other pages, and then you can then also edit that as well.
Yeah.
Now we also have here, this is another page, which is a previous campaign template, which you can also go in and edit. So this is also through Canva, through the marketing toolkit. Now, this has already come with its pre-made assets already made with an image, but this here is within a frame, and Canva has these really good little frames that you can add into any design that you've got, and it's already got this image. But if we delete this image here, this is what the frame looks like. You can then do exactly the same thing, where you get your piece of video, and then you can just add that into the frame. And then here we go. We've now got this static image or static design, which is now a video. So that is now going to be 11 seconds long, but you can cut and trim that exactly how we did earlier. And then you can use our pre-existing templates from before and turn them into something that is brand new and a video format as well.
And that can be a really good balance of, I know some people find that in their areas, something that is more of a proper campaign, like that with the design on it, that performs better. But that's a nice way of getting the combination between, you've got that more designed thing, you've got the opportunity to put more information on there, you can put your logos on, you can do all of that. You're also still adding the video element. So you've kind of got the best of both worlds there. You've got the thing that you know works really, really well in your area, but actually you're still having the video on there, which hopefully will attract some people's attention, because it's what looks like a still, but it's moving. So we're all about just stopping that thumb scroll and finding something that's going to grab attention. And you're also feeding the algorithm, because if you download that as an MP4 and you've got that to upload, or as a GIF, then it's gonna feed that algorithm and tell it, oh, this is a video post, which will tick that box as well. So you kind of get the best of both worlds from that. There we
go. Should we go back to us?
Yeah, unless anybody has any questions. If you've got any questions on any of the Canva bits, then drop them in quick now. But if not, then we can go back.
as I say, Canva is so easy. If you need any help, you can always give us a call or send us an email, something we can get back to you. Or if it's something that you like in the future, we can do more walkthroughs. We have done a couple walkthroughs in the past, but we're happy to do that for a future webinar or something as well. So
yeah, 100%. No, looks like we're good with the questions. So again, good, nice explanation.
there we go. We're back.
There we go. Perfect. Hopefully you can all see us. If you're still stuck on Canva, then let us know. But I'm thinking we're okay.
We're back.
So yeah, so that's your kind of stage 4 is about prepping those assets in advance. So making sure you've got all those bits that you need. So that was how to do Canva assets. So those you can obviously use as organic posts. You can use those as ads. If it's obviously we can't do a video on a leaflet. I'm sure we will be able to at some point. There will be a point at which you can post a mini screen through somebody's door, I'm sure. But you can get all of those, get that, make sure it's all sorted ahead, get your emails written. I know we previously on the last webinar that me and Eliot did together, which I think was a couple of months ago, we did a demo of ChatGPT and Eliot took us through how to use that for writing emails and things like that. So if you're struggling with any of that, then ChatGPT is also your friend. You can use that. So just making sure you've got that suite of things ahead of time. It's also, I know I certainly find it easier, and I think Eliot will probably back me up on this, in that if you know you've got to do something, and say you've got your back to school campaign, and you know what your campaign's all about, you know what your offer's all about, you know the kind of style that you're going to do your images, you know the kind of style that you're going to have your posts in, to do them all at once and do them in bulk is actually significantly easier and significantly quicker than going, oh, I'm going to do one today, I'm going to go do one tomorrow, I'm going to do something else next week. Oh, I'll get around to writing my emails at the weekend. Block half a day or however long you need. Just block that out, get them all done, because what you'll find is you'll be like, oh, I'll take that piece from there and I'll use that here. And oh, that bit of, actually, I really like that bit that I've just wrote for that email. That'll make a good part of a social post. And what you can find is you can have that suite built, and it's a lot quicker than suddenly sitting on the 10th of September and going, right, I know that my offer is that I'm offering a free t-shirt and 50 quid off my joining fee. What am I going to write? I know I need to get it out this morning. I don't know.
I think it's part of that planning, as we've all been talking about as well today, but like blocking that time out, and then it means you can have everything kind of consistent as well, and it's all flowing together and makes sense. So maybe take time. Maybe that's the action point for this section, is to book in the calendar 2 hours at least to just plan and then create some designs. And Andy said, I make it look so easy, so I really appreciate that. But Canva do have a design school as well, their tutorials, and that's the best thing to look at, because they are constantly updating Canva and they're constantly updating their tutorials as well.
They've got fantastic YouTube videos.
YouTube videos, really you can do like some courses on it. So just take some time to try and learn, and also know that you can't really go wrong. You can undo everything you do. If you've gone wrong, just take a second, Control Z or undo, and then just try it again. And it's just trial and error and learning. That's how I've gone wrong many times on Canva, but you just have to fix it. And sometimes when you export it, it doesn't look how it should look, or you realize that there's a block there that shouldn't be there. So you just have to do it again. And it's just like that.
See, Wayne's saying, so for your template, would it be best to video the classes in portrait? What's your view on which way to hold the camera, Ellie?
So that's an interesting question. I think that for a lot of content, depending on what you're trying to get depending on the design you're creating. So if you're creating a longer design, portrait wise, which is up and down compared to landscape, which is across. If you're doing like the new style of Instagram post, which is actually available to use on all platforms, it's a 4:5 ratio, which is a little bit longer. You can create all your social media posts in that format, and that's fine. You can create a video that is portrait. However, as long as you're getting everything you need in the shot. If you're doing something which is a class of 30 people, you're probably going to want to have it landscape, and then you can then edit it and then make it, shrink it and size it.
It's that notion of trimming, right? So if you take, for example, us now on screen, we're landscape, but you could crop us, portrait, I can't reach past Eliot, but you could crop down this side and down the other side of Eliot, and you'd lose the bookcase and you'd lose a bit of wall and plant, but we'd still work in the middle because we're there.
If we're like this, maybe.
Squeeze in a bit. But do you see what I mean in terms of if you film in landscape, sometimes you give yourself a little bit more of an option. Whereas if you film something in portrait and you suddenly want to put it in landscape, you end up like you're chopping somebody from here to
it's
here,
more
and you've got a
difficult.
great photo of their neck and a
And
great video of their neck.
even just as I say, using us as an example now, we've got a lot of space above our head and then below here, so you can then cut from here. So that's quite nice that we can then use this landscape this landscape footage,
Yeah,
and then turn that into portrait, as you say. Yeah,
gives you a little bit more of an option, I
of
suppose.
leeway.
But if you do something in portrait, they happen don't feel like you need to throw it away because you're still basically when you're dragging and dropping it, like you saw with what Elliot did there, you can drag it, you can expand it, you can just take one side of it. There's lots of options.
And then somebody wants some note form. So we'll be creating a blog on this webinar as well. So that'll be available to you as well.
Yeah, and the webinar replay of the webinar will be up on the YouTube and everything, so you can put it all there, and we'll have all the kind of main points in the description of YouTube as well. So lots to come back and catch up. Don't worry, you don't need to remember it all off the top of your head. So yeah, a couple of people popping in saying they've got to hop into another meeting. So yeah, we are heading to the end of time. So what I'll do is let's speed up a bit and let's get to the kind of final point, which is readying your team and also making sure you've got some good follow-up systems in place. So really important that your team know what you're doing. So what I find a lot is that you'll have somebody that leads a club and they do some fantastic campaigns and they put some amazing offers out there and it's all working really, really well. And lots of other leads come in and then they go into a class where maybe they have somebody that runs the reception desk for them or they have instructors. And basically it's not you that's posted the ads and that's done all of the work that's talking to those parents. And if that all hasn't been shared and they don't know exactly what it is, they get, what? Sorry, no, back to school offer. Yeah. And they're on the back foot. And therefore they can't come out, they can't sell, they can't try and convince those people to join. They don't know what the main objections are that people tend to face and they don't know how to combat them. So having your team as wrapped up in this campaign as you are is really, really, really important because that just means that you're getting a really fluid response through the whole journey. So whether that's the email they get in or they phone up to ask about parking, the person on reception knows exactly why they're coming for a trial and exactly what they're going to do. And when they turn up, they know when the mum's asking at the end or the grandparent or whatever is saying, oh, what actually is the offer? What do we get if we sign up today? What's the difference of signing up today versus if we leave it a month or so? They know and they can push those things. So that's really, really important.
It's that communication, make sure everyone is up to date.
Definitely, 100%. So just make sure they're briefed, they know what to do. Then the other bit is all about your follow-up. So what do you do with those leads? So when you've got them, whether that's the lead that is yet to book a trial, or the one that's booked a trial and is yet to turn up, or the one that has turned up but didn't sign up on the night, what is your follow-up process? Because don't see those points as the end of the road. Like, what do you do if somebody doesn't turn up for trial? We spoke a bit about this earlier. Like, do you just send them the odd email and then that doesn't work and you accept that that's gone? Or do you try and reach out to them personally? If they haven't booked a trial yet, are you doing a retargeting campaign? Have you got more information to give them? Can you keep them as a warm lead? So we spoke about those touch points and things like that. Like, you will reach people with this back to school campaign that won't sign up within it. It's just a fact of life. It's just going to happen. You're not going to reach everybody and get absolutely everybody to sign up. So therefore, what is your follow-up from this? How are you going to keep them warm? So how are you going to keep them in your mailing list for the next few months? Like, there'll be people that find out about you in September now who will sign up when you do your Christmas campaigns or your January campaigns or even your back to school campaign next year, not going in the past. So it's what that process is, making sure you've got that in there, making sure you wrap all of the different options up there. So SMS, email, phone calls, what is that going to be? Coming up with a process. Within MyMA, with Nest, you can automate a lot of that. We've got the prospect system, so you can be taking them through the flow, moving them from stage to stage. Whenever they come into a certain stage, they automatically get an email, so you can have those follow-ups. So if they get moved into the stage where they attended the trial but they didn't sign up, what's the email follow-up that they get out of that? Do you set a task for yourself that says, I need to follow up with them in 3 days to give them a call to see what's happening? Just making sure you have got that process in. So say it's a lot to think about, but that is the bit that will really kind of reap the benefits, and you'll really feel it.
So the main action point for this one is to review follow-up processes and what systems do you have in place, right?
Yeah. Basically, make sure you know what's going to happen, because it's fantastic to spend lots of time and effort and everything creating the leads, getting the leads, but what are you doing afterwards? What's going to happen, basically? So I think that's basically it. I think that's how round it.
That's it. Not much really.
It's the odd bit, just those few steps.
So should we just go through a couple of things that we want them to do mainly? Is so first off, these are the action points that you need to do today to go forward, right? To make sure that summer through to September is a breeze. And that is set goals, right? Plan campaign timelines, design, offer, and prepare your assets, and prepare your team. Those 4 things are really key.
They're your key bits. So if you've got those and you can get those set up in the next couple of weeks, then that will mean when you get to September time, you can focus all your energy on the stuff you enjoy the most and the stuff that I know you guys do amazingly, which is doing a fantastic trial, getting those kids and those parents really, really engaged, and that they're actually loving the session that they're having. And hopefully that means that your sign-up process becomes a lot easier as well, because you're more present. You've not got to worry about all of this stuff. This is all in the background. And I know I'm the marketing geek out of everybody. That's my job. It's what I do inside out all day, every day. And I know it's not everybody enjoys it as much as I do. So getting it done, it's out the way, it's prepped, it's planned, it's there.
Getting it in your calendar, so then you can just give yourself that goal of putting it in your calendar. That's the first goal, isn't it? And then just getting it done.
100%. But yeah, we're here. If you need any help, just reach out to us. What I also will do is let me just find the link. I know I'll put it somewhere sensible. There you go. What I will do is pop in the chat. So this is the link. If you log on to the marketing toolkit, that's the back to school page. So that's got lots of hints and tips and tricks of things that you can do. We will add this webinar to that page as well for the follow-up, and that's got all the campaigns and everything. So the campaigns that you saw Elliot editing today, they're all linked from that page as well. There's lots of kind of strategy and information and everything on there, so make sure you go and check that page out. So so conscious we kind of ran over a little bit from that, but only 4 minutes, we didn't do too badly. But yeah, if anybody's got any questions, then pop them in the chat. We'll hang around for a couple of minutes if they come in, or as I say, feel free to drop us an email or get in touch, pop anything on either our public Facebook or into the community group. We're around.
And good luck.
Yeah, hope it all goes well. And please let me know how it goes, because I feel like we offer all these webinars, we do these things, so I never know actually how well it goes for everybody. So if you have an amazing success story and it all goes well, then let us know.
We'd love to hear it. So Chris says thank you. So thank you.
You're very welcome. So it's great to have you there, and same for you, Gina and Andy. Thanks a lot. Well, we'll see everybody soon, and hope you have a nice August and a very fruitful September.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, Joseph. Thank you to you too. Many thanks. And we'll see you next time. Thank you very much, everybody.
See you later.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.